Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chantel, and today I am going to do my long overdue review of the Kindle Scribe. I bought the Kindle Scribe in pre-order, so I've actually had this for a few months now, and I have used it quite a bit. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase for those of you that are short on time and are just looking for a quick recommendation. At the price point that this is at, it has enough limitations that I hesitate to recommend it. That being said, most of the changes that I would want to be made on the Kindle Scribe are really just software changes. So I hope that an update of the Kindle Scribe would make this a better device, but as it stands right now, I wouldn't recommend it as an e-note taking device. As a large scale e-reader, it is right on par with the rest of the Kindles, especially the premium Kindle e-reading experience. So I would recommend it that way if you do have that high of a budget for an e-reader. But again, the cost it makes me hesitate in recommending this as even an e-reader. So take that for what you will. If you want to see the larger picture, I'm happy to go on about it in just a minute. So if you've watched any of my videos before, it's probably this one on the Kindle lineup. I need to do an updated one because we have some new Kindles since then. All that to say, I'm pretty familiar with the Kindle e-reading experience, and this does not disappoint as a Kindle, especially as a premium Kindle. I love the build on this thing. It has a very similar feel to the Kindle Oasis. It's got that aluminum, like metal-like finish here. It's got little rubber feet on the back, so when you lay it down on your desk, it's not wiggling around, which is really, really nice. I love that the screen is flush here. It's got a great writing surface. It's got a great reading surface. And I like that it's designed similarly, again, to the Oasis with that kind of ergonomic strip. It doesn't have the page turning buttons, but honestly, I don't think that you could have that on a device this large, just because I find I'm using it a lot, like holding at the bottom. So if you had buttons in the middle here, it might be a little bit annoying. So as a Kindle, I would recommend this, especially as a large scale Kindle. If you're looking for someone who needs something a little bit bigger, I can totally see using this. And of course, the primary differentiator between this Kindle and all the other Kindles in the lineup is its note-taking ability. So the Kindle Scribe comes with two pen options. I have the premium pen here, but you can also get the base pen. So if you get the base Kindle Scribe with 16 gigabytes and the base pen, it's $340. And if you upgrade to the premium pen, it's $370. I will say, if you're at all interested in the premium pen, definitely get it with the starting cost, because if you order it on its own, it's $60. The primary difference between the base pen and the premium pen is that it has an eraser at the end, so you can take a note like this and then flip it over and erase just like you would with a regular pencil. And it's also got a function button that you can customize to whatever function you want it to be. I will say that the writing experience is great. I love the way that the pen tips interact with this matte screen. It really feels like writing on a piece of paper. You're not gonna have the kind of experience or the learning curve that comes with learning how to digital note take on a slick screen like you would if you were using an iPad or an Android. But of course, it comes with its limitations because obviously this device doesn't have as many options as something like an iPad or an Android tablet. So you might be wondering, especially looking at the price, and that's something that I was thinking a lot about too. So thinking about an iPad or an Android tablet, you might be wondering why someone would go with this over an iPad or an Android tab. And I will say that's where I was coming from too, because I primarily note take on an iPad myself, and going from an iPad to this was a pretty stark comparison, but there's an entire world of e-note takers, and people go for these much in the same reasons why they go for a Kindle. So it's actually it makes sense as a partnership here. And that's because one, the screen is a lot more like a piece of paper. It's easier on your eyes. It's a matte screen. The pen feels a lot more like writing on a piece of paper versus the slick screen that is going to require you to learn how to write differently on an iPad or an Android tablet. And it also holds a charge longer. And I think probably what the primary purpose that people go for something like this over an iPad or an Android tablet is that it's not a multitasking device. The only thing that you can reasonably do on a device like this, whether it be like a Kindle or any note taker on the market, is just to read and take notes. And a lot of people find that beneficial to their workflow. And I could even see situations where people would want this for a child that you want to limit their access to to the internet, but they still want to digital read and digital note take. So it makes sense. There's definitely a market for it, and I understand it when you think about it that way. That being said, if that is not something that you're interested in and you're thinking about this versus an iPad or an Android tablet, you're gonna be disappointed if you go with this and you're expecting it to be similar to an iPad or an Android tablet. It is absolutely not even a similar experience at all. But I will say, as far as prices go, I actually really appreciate that the Kindle Scribe includes the pen, whichever pen you use, whether that's the base pen or the premium pen, in its starting costs, because the price that they advertise is accurate to the price that it actually costs to operate a device like this. Since looking into this space as a whole, there is a lot of marketing that makes it seem like other e-note takers might be cheaper, but they're actually not. In fact, compared to e-note takers on the market, this is pretty on par, if not on the cheaper end of the e-note takers available. For example, one that you may have heard about is the Remarkable, and the Remarkable says it starts at $270. But that's just not the truth, because the Remarkable entry price doesn't include their pen. And actually, their base pen and their premium pen are more expensive than the Kindle Scribe. And so the startup price of Remarkable is closer to, with the basic pen, $378, or with their premium pen, $428. And to be honest, looking into the note-taking space as a whole and seeing the costs out there, it made me understand the vision of the Kindle Scribe a lot more, and I was able to spend more time enjoying my experience with this and not so much focusing on the price, now that I realize that the cost of this is really on par to e-note takers on the market right now. So there are a few different ways that you can take notes in the Kindle Scribe. If you look at the homepage, it's very similar to all of the other Kindles on the market, but you have a new tab, and that's the notebook tab. You can click on that and you can add notebooks. There are a ton of built-in templates that you can use with that function. You can also mark up PDFs and you can annotate Kindle books, but there are limitations with every single method here, unfortunately, and we'll get into that in a second. So looking at the first option to take handwritten notes, you can use the Notebooks tab, and I actually really quite like this function. It actually matches up to the Kindle app on your phone, and you're able to click on your notebooks on your phone and view those on the go as well. Honestly, one of my very, very favorite parts of digital planning and digital note-taking as a whole is being able to view my notes on other devices when my one big device isn't available, because a lot of the time maybe I want to look at a note while I'm on the go and the only thing I have is my phone. Most of these e-note taking devices and apps have corresponding phone apps that you can view your work through, and this is no different, but it has some big flaws. So you're able to see your handwritten notes only in the notebook section. That means you can't add any PDFs, so any templates that you make on your own, to the notebook section to view on the go. So my favorite way to look at this is kind of the space that I'm in all the time anyway, is something like a planner. So there are planner pages in the notebooks, but you can only use one kind of page in a singular notebook. So if you're using a monthly page, for example, in a notebook, and you have it all filled out, and then you go and you reference it and you decide that you need a schedule for the day. If you add a page and you make that page a schedule page, it changes the page before that, and it changes all of the pages in the notebook, which means you can't have more than one type of template in a singular notebook in the Kindle Notebooks app, which is so annoying and just shouldn't be the case for a device this expensive. It should at least have the basic functionality of like a binder you would use in school, that you can use multiple different kinds of paper, but you cannot. So even that wouldn't be as big of a deal to me if I could put my own templates into the notebook section, but you can't. The PDFs that you can mark up are populated with the books and not with the Kindle notebooks. So you can't view the notes that you've taken on top of those PDFs on the go. You're only able to view the book version of that PDF without any changes. And that can be really, really annoying if you're using templates that maybe you bought on the internet or you've made yourself. This to me seems like such an oversight, because obviously the technology is there. They really just need to allow us to add PDFs to the notebook section of the Kindle app, and this would be already a better device and an easier device to recommend. The other way that you can take notes on the Kindle Scribe, and I think what makes this the most intriguing device and why you would consider getting a note taker from Kindle versus another brand is that you're able to use your entire Kindle library and you're able to annotate Kindle books. And now you notice I say you can't mark them up, you can just annotate them because you're not able to write directly on the page like you would on a PDF or in their regular note section. You're basically limited to using these sticky notes. So you can kind of place them anywhere. You can highlight a section and place a sticky note on that highlight, or you can just add a sticky note anywhere in the book and you can annotate on that section, and then it minimizes so you can continue to read the page that you're on or the book that you're in. And I don't know, it's a nice feature, but it's not at all like what you probably expected when you thought that you'd be able to mark up your Kindle books. There's absolutely no writing in the margins, circling words, nothing like that. That being said, I do like that you can export kind of like a summary of all of your highlights and all of your annotations, including your handwritten notes, and you can email it to yourself. And I could see that being really beneficial if you were like a student, specifically a student who uses a lot of Kindle books or marks up PDFs and you just want to see kind of the notes that you took all in a glance. I think it could make a lot of sense for something like that. But again, I'm not sure how useful this would be for everyone. You are able to mark up a PDF though, however you would like, and you're able to export both the summary of just the places that you've highlighted and annotated, and you're also able to export the entire document with the markups that you've made. So that's definitely possible. And unfortunately, I do have another couple of limitations to tell you about. These aren't as important to me as some of those bigger functionality issues from before, but as far as the writing tools, you only have the option for one pen. You can change the thickness of it. It happens to be the type of pen that I like. I like a monoline kind of ballpoint option, but on other e-note takers on the market, you have more options for pens. And so that might be a little bit of a hang up for you, especially if you like to use a different kind of pen, like a brush pen or something like that, or if you like to use e-note taking devices to sketch, that might be something to consider. All that being said, I actually like the physical experience of using the Kindle Scribe. I use mine all the time. I use it every day. It's the device that I have beside my bed, and I use it to read and to take notes and to journal before I go to sleep, things like that. It does seem a little expensive for a device that does that, but I find I do annotate my books a lot more, although really the functionality of using the annotation feature in Kindle Scribe is quite similar to annotating on another Kindle. It's much easier to handwrite in your note versus having to use the built-in keyboard on a regular Kindle. So I do reach for this, and I find I do make a lot more notes in Kindle books this way. But I will say it's pretty steep for what I'm actually using it for. My thing with the Kindle Scribe as it stands right now is that I can really see the potential of something like this really dominating the e-reader and e-note taker space. But as it stands right now, there are a couple of things that holds this back from being truly functional if I were to rely on this for something like my workflow. As a leisure device, I've actually quite enjoyed this, but I'm not sure that you would want to spend close to $400 on a leisure device, but that is up to you. I actually think most of the changes that I would want made in the Kindle Scribe are really just software changes. And so something as simple as an update could make this so much more functional. And I'm really hoping that an update becomes available and I'm able to come back and make a new video recommending the Kindle Scribe in the future. But as it stands right now, it's really just a nice to have, and I wouldn't say a must have at the current moment. All right, well, that's it for me. If there are updates with the Kindle Scribe, you know I'll be back up here to make an updated version. I really hope that I'm able to do that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It means the world to this little channel, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.